Have you ever stared at the chart and wondered where to actually get in? You've probably wondered, why is it that price constantly rejects a particular level? Well, if you have, this video is directly for you. Now, I'm going to be breaking down support and resistance throughout this video because support and resistance is literally the backbone to technical analysis. Now, what you have to understand is that these zones literally give us the ability to take bounce trades, breakout trades, and of course those powerful trades where we literally have support and resistance flip zones. So stick around until the very end because I'm about to blow your mind with support and resistance so that you can clock profits day after day within the financial markets. Let's get right into it. Welcome back. If you're new to this trading space, you don't know it's Karian, and listen, I ain't gonna waste your time. I just want to dive on the chart so we can get right into this. But if you're new here and you want to be a profitable trader, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And listen, let's smash those likes and share this video with anyone who is actually struggling to make consistent profits within the financial markets. Let's make some profits. All right, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is what exactly is support, what is resistance, right? Because I know you must need some clarity on how to identify these, but you have to understand what they are first. So literally, I need you to consider support as areas where price literally bounce from and go higher, right? Whilst resistance is where price is, having some amount of rejection from and we're dropping like it's hot. So we're bouncing, which means that we're rising at a support level, and at a resistance level, we're literally dropping it like it's hot, right? Now, what I want you to really consider is that these levels are battlefields. This is where buyers and sellers are fighting for the position. They're fighting for the win, right? So you want to make sure you highlight these zones as your battlefield. Support and resistance, very important areas, very important levels to identify on your chart on a daily basis so that you are understanding where the battlefield is. Okay, this is the battlefield. This is where the fight takes place, right? This is where the fight takes place between the bulls and the bears on a daily basis, and you want to make sure you highlight these areas. So here's a pro tip. Because we understand that support and resistance are key areas where price really can respect on a day-to-day basis, we've got to look out for these areas, and we can either have one of two plays. We can either bounce or we can break. Now, how do we know which one we're going to get? We're not going to try and predict it. We're literally going to pay attention to price action, and price action is going to give us that confirmation whether or not we're going to bounce or break so that we can get or play to make profits within the financial markets. So let's talk about a bounce trade. Let's get into how we set up bounce trades. What are the rules for bounce trades? Let's get into it. So here are our bounce trade rules. We've got to have rules because guess what? This keeps us grounded so that we stick to the plan and we trade the plan all day, every day. Now, when we have a bounce, it means that price has tapped a support zone and we're now rising. Right? Now, it simply means we're going to be looking out for quite a few things. We want to make sure that this support zone that price has tapped, it has multiple rejections. We've either tapped that zone twice or even 3 times, right? Now, you want to make sure that when price gets to this area, you're looking for clear rejection signs. Now, what do I mean? We're looking at price action. We're looking at the candlesticks, right? So we want to see wicks. We want to see dojis. We want to see all those candles that are showing rejection to the downside, right? To show us that price no longer wants to go down. Now we want to go up. That's the signal that we're waiting on for clear rejection. Now, number 3, we're also going to be adding added confluences to back up all that we're looking at. Now, what are these added confluences that we can literally add? We can add the Karma, one of my favorites. We can add the Fibonacci, another favorite of mine, and we can literally add a trend line. All right, so these are a few that we can add just to give added confirmation before we jump in to that trade. Because one of the key things that we want to do, we don't want to buy or sell blindly, right? Now, in this case, because we're bouncing, we don't want to buy blindly, right? We want to wait on confirmation. We want confirmation. We're not gambling, we're trading. It's quite different. Okay, so another key is your confirmation entry. Now that we've got clear rejection, now that we've got our confluences in place, we're now looking for our confirmation signal. This is literally engulfing bullish candles right at the support level, and we're literally looking for those rejection candles alongside the engulfing bars. So here's a pro tip for your bounce trade setups. What I generally do on a daily basis, I will do my analysis on the 1 hour time frame. This simply means that I'm drawing my support zones on the 1 hour, and I want to see those multiple rejections. I want to see those, areas where we're having multiple rejections, and those are the areas where I'm highlighting on a daily basis. Once I've done that, then I'm literally going to be going down to my 5-minute time frame to see how price reacts when it gets to these areas, right? Now, once we have some reaction here, we're literally going to be looking for the confirmation entry. We're looking for those added confluences to play. And once we get that play, we're directly taking those trades and getting in on the 5-minute time frame for the sniper entry. Now let's flip the script. Here's how to catch a breakout without getting trapped in a fake out. I want you to understand that rules are paramount. They're very important so that you get in at the right place without getting in on what we call the liquidity grab or the liquidity sweep. Now, breakouts often happens. Price is not always going to respect a support or a resistance area. At some point in time, we're going to break, and once we break, we're waiting on that retest. But here are our confirmation rules. Now, if you've made it this far, I want you to understand that you need to grab a pen and a paper, because I'm about to give you the secret sauce. And I want you to do this. Drop secret sauce in the comments down below so that I know that you're a champion who's made it this far in the video. That means you're going places. That means you're ready to level up your trading. So I want you to get what we call the power of the flip zone. Now you're saying, what is the flip zone? The flip zone is literally where support now becomes resistance and vice versa. This is literally your flip zone. So we're previously support, and now because we've broken through, we're now becoming resistance, right? So this is literally where we break out and we retest. Now here's the thing. This is price psychology 101. This is where it is very important for you to enter trades at the right level. Now, why do I say this? This is literally what you have to understand as a trader. If we're focusing on these levels where we're having support and resistance, it means that some traders will be buying at these support levels, for example, right? And once they're buying at the level, they'll probably constantly be buying at that level. But at some point in time, we'll break that level and they're probably in a buy trade. What does that mean? It means that that trader only has to wait on price to retest to get out at a break even. Isn't that cool? Now, what happens, this is pure liquidity, because what's really happening at these flip zones is that if a trader missed the breakout, they wait on the retest to get in. But if a trader was buying at a support zone and price broke through, putting them in massive drawdown, or probably, they didn't have a stop loss on, or whatever the case is, they just have to wait on that retest. And once you get that retest, right, then you can break even and get out of that trade. All right, so literally you've got that area where that zone, basically, where is your flip zone. It has a lot of liquidity there, and listen, a lot of vibe is there when it comes on to traders who are buying and selling. So pay attention and make sure you're taking trades at the right level so that you can, get in at the right place, get some profits, and get out. I want you to understand this. Flip zones are magnets. I want you to respect them. I want you to trade them. I want you to identify them on your charts. Wherever support becomes resistance, it's a powerful zone. All right, so highlight these zones as a tip. Now, what is your actual setup? What can your setup look like when you're looking at these flip zones when it comes on to taking the trade? You want to identify first these areas where support or resistance basically breaks through. We're on the charts, and literally this is me showing you a walkthrough of how, myself and my husband spotted a, nice setup using a flip zone on gold. So I'm just going to walk you through it so that you clearly understand the perspective of, how we do this. Now, I'm on the 1 hour time frame. And one of the first key things is to highlight these zones of support and resistance. And we want to see multiple touches because, the more touches we see at this area, it means that this is a significant price level. All right, so I'm going to take my horizontal line and I'm just going to mark through these areas that we've actually got. Now, the most recent ones are the ones that I'm going to be zoning in on, the most, because we like to look at current price action, right? So let's highlight them zones where we've got, price reacting from. So we've got one resistance area here, and you can see that we've got one here. And this is the 1 hour time frame, as I said. Now we've got support here, price is sitting here. Now once we highlight them, let's see if we can see multiple touches. So this one, nice. We've got multiple touches right here. Right now, this is the only one that I'm seeing here. When in doubt, we zoom out because this is an all-time high. So we're not yet back here, right? Right here. It's not that popular as yet, but we can see that there is resistance right here. So we're still highlighting it. We've got a lot of support right here, so I'm going to highlight this one as well. Right here, multiple ones. Hold on. All right, so multiple ones right here. You can see that we're sitting here and we're bouncing for a bit, okay? Now that we've marked the most recent ones, you can zoom out to do, other areas like here. Want to get 1, 2, 3 tops. There we go. All right, and you can do the other bit, but the most recent ones are really where you're tapping in on. You want to tap in on these areas where price really, so this is nice one here, but we came within this area and rejected a lot, and the support was a little bit up, but we can see that we're still within the same zone. All right, so now that we've got these, there's one right here as well. Let's highlight this. Just want to make sure that I'm not missing any. All right, so we're highlighting them. There we go. And you can see what price is showing. So this right here, we had a bit of resistance, right? But then of course we came through it and now we're sitting on it currently. So what are we really looking for? I'm highlighting these areas because they're significant price levels in my opinion. Now what I'm gonna do, since I've highlighted these, I'm now gonna just get down to the 5-minute time frame, because what I'm really anticipating, if I go back to the 1 hour, I want to make sure that you're seeing it clearly. Right here is where we are. Currently, this is where we are. We're at a support level. Price has, really been tapping into this area and respecting it. So what we're ideally looking for is, for price to either come back here and bounce or break. Right, we're either going to bounce or break at this level because we've been, respecting it for the most part. You can see that we've got 1, 2, 3 touches right here. And you can see that it's actually a flip zone. If you look at it, we were resistance right here. When we broke through it, we're now sitting on top as support. Okay, so this price area is a significant interest right now to us. So what we're really looking at is now getting down to the 5 minutes and waiting patiently on price to react when it gets there. So let's see. We can do some adjustments because we do have some slippage here and there. Look, we were sitting on here. Right, so even if you say, okay, let's move this to the most recent on the 5 minute, this is the most recent. So we'll look for price to get back into this area and see how it reacts to, the support level. So this is a support level, really nice one. We came here, rejected not just once, twice, but multiple times. So this is the area of the day where we're zoning in on. And we're really seeing how price reacts when we get here. So let's see how price reacts. Let's zoom in so that you can see. This is our key area. This is actually the resistance point as well for the day. So I'll just put one here so we can see that this is the high. Oh, oopsie. There we go. All right, so let's see how price reacts when it gets to this area, because we can see that we're in the middle of nowhere now, but potentially we're going to be getting back to this area. So excellent stuff. Look at this break. Nice candle here, has broken through the level. Now we're waiting, to get a nice retest of the area. So we've broken through this support level with a huge candle, right? So we're seeing some volume, some momentum right here. Let's see how price continues. As you can see, we've pulled back into the actual price where we broke from, and we've rejected. What is this signaling? This is signaling that we're going down. We are going down without a doubt. Okay, so let's wait on the proper retest. Now you can get in right here. Right here is fine to get in, and if you do get in right here, right, you would literally have, your next area, which is here. This would be another zone. We could highlight it, and this could be potentially where you get out. Right. So we look to the left to see where we've got that. And even if we want to range it right on top of this wick, in line with the support here, we could literally say, you know what, on that pullback, we could get in here, put our stop a little bit above, sorry. So I'm showing you one of two things. We could do a short position here, based on this wick rejection that we're seeing and the pullback that we're getting here, you could literally say, you know what, let's take the trade, or stop just a little bit above the wick, and bare minimum 1 to 2. If we can get a 1 to 3, even better, right? I generally like 1 to 3s where we can get a proper move into, you know, some profits. All right, so we could have a play like this for those who wait on that mini retest area here, and you know, literally we could get in and, you know, see how it plays. Beautiful. So that's take profit hit right there. Now there is another opportunity, right? So this is one way where you literally wait on that immediate retest of a candle once we get that momentum break and the wick rejection. Then we can get in on that and, you know, ride the wave to the downside on this, you know, in this scenario. All right, so literally this would be a sweet play. I like taking trades like these. These are my signature trades. I love breakouts. So this is one way in which we could take this trade. Now let's show you how we took it. Literally, what you could ideally wait for is for price to fully retest that level. So we'll get this off. So this is one way. All right, we could literally wait on price to retest. We could get a retest back into this area, so we could potentially wait on that retest. And you know, when we retest, we're really getting back into the zone here. Perfect. So we've retested the zone. Now what are we actually seeing? Now of course, if you miss this break here, you're gonna wait a bit for the next setup. So you're gonna wait on price to come back into this area, right, where we broke from, and actually have wick rejections and, you know, bearish engulfing candles. All right, now if we look at this area, you're seeing a doji and you're seeing a bearish engulfing candle. Now we're kind of pulling back into the zone, so let's wait on that pullback move and then to get an additional bearish engulfing signal, and that's when we take the play. Nice. So we've gone a little bit further up, right? So remember, we saw this and this, but we were waiting because now what we're looking at is that we are pulling back into the zone. So this is literally now your signal, because remember, we're not only looking at price rejection, we're waiting on or added confirmation, be it or Fibonacci, be it or karma. In this case, it's the karma for me. And what do you realize with the karma? We're now below the karma and we're red. So this is when we actually get in on the 5 minute to take this trade. We're below, we're literally within that flip zone. We're red with the karma. Now we're getting in on our entry right here. Now you can literally wait for price to pull back into the karma, or you could just get in right here. There we go. So that's the pull back into the karma. Right, once you get that pull back into the karma and you're seeing this wick rejection, then literally you take your short position, right? So this could be your short. You want to put your stop a little bit, you know, above, ideally above here, right? So we could keep it there. And of course, we're aiming to get back down here, right? All the way down here. Ideally, or even if you want to say, you know what, let's tackle this area of support, we could say, you know what, and this is a killer trade. We could literally get a 1 to 4 off this. All right, so let's see how price moves in our favor. So gave us clean move here into profits, played a bit at the zone until we drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. There we go. Take profit smashed. We came directly on that zone, rejected, reacted, and then we broke through that bit as well. So I want you to understand that this is the power of the flip zone. You want to be able to identify these areas on your 1 hour time frame, scale down to your 5 minutes, see how price reacts when it gets to these levels, and you're either going to be looking for your bounce or your break. Now, ideally, we want to get those powerful moves at the flip zones where price was previously support, broke through, now becomes resistance, and that's where the power is at. Now, if you're really loving, the value that I'm dropping here, make sure you smash that like button and drop a comment to say you've got some value. That will really be appreciated. Now, with that said, this is literally what I want you to understand when it comes on to support and resistance. When you trade this is like a powerful thing. Now, flip zones are magnets. Remember, we respect them, we identify them, and we trade them to make maximum profits within the financial markets. Now, I want you to understand this. To win in the markets, you don't need to be a magician. In fact, you don't need to be a prophet that sees into the future. All of that is not necessary. You literally need discipline and structure. So what is the structure going to be? What is the process going to be? Right? What are the rules in terms of when price does this? How do I react? Understand that you literally just need a process, you need structure and discipline to execute. Now, once you do that on repeat, you'll be able to make profits within the financial market. Just get yourself aligned with one strategy, not 10, not 20, one strategy. Lock in on that strategy, right? If you're trading support and resistance, remember, you're looking for what price is doing and you're reacting based on, price bouncing, price breaking, or based on those flip zones. You're reacting based on price action. Now, once you do this, document the trades and come back here and tell Kerry how it's going. Yeah, because guess what? One of my favorite things to do is to trade bounce or break. All right. And I want you to smash the like button if you got any value, if you learned anything, just smash the like button and make sure you subscribe for real strategies that actually work. And as I said, if you're watching this channel and you found a strategy that works, stick to it. Don't go flipping to 10, 20 other channels or 20 other strategies. Stick with the one that works and lock in on it. If it's not broken, do not try to fix it. Now, remember, put God first in everything you do, because if He's in it, without a doubt, you must win it. Remember, in the Bible, it tells you that it is God who gives you the power to get wealth. And if you're here, it's not by coincidence. You have already been given the power to get wealth. So lock in on your wealth journey and go all in on trading. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.